Well, first tonight, people from all walks of life came together on this Remembrance Day. Last year, of course, so many ceremonies were disrupted and cancelled. And so with no restrictions in place, people were able to gather and observe the 2-minute silence to honour fallen heroes. Amy Payne reports.
"11 o'clock in Leicester and a bugle signals silence. The usually bustling market comes to a standstill as people pause and reflect.
It's getting more important nowadays because some of the older generation are not around to tell their stories, and if we don't remember, people will end up forgetting.
Everybody that died, we've got to remember them, definitely.
They're not the forgotten heroes, they are our heroes.
This is one of many services taking place across our region today. In our cities, our towns, our villages, these scenes are being replicated as people remember those killed in conflict.
In Derbyshire, dozens of people gathered for a service in Belper Memorial Gardens where wreaths were laid.
Many are honouring those they've lost and just honouring people they never met and never had a chance to meet. So that for me is what it means.
In Nottinghamshire, people came together near Ruddington's War Memorial to pay their respects to the fallen, while in Nottingham, hundreds observed a 2-minute silence in Old Market Square.
It's the chance that we get to remember everything and remember the stuff that we've had to go through and to do in other people's names, but it makes it more personal on the day.
We know that war isn't over in the world and there are people around the world still suffering, so I think it's important.
There's still a lot of mental health issues going on from, Iraq, Afghanistan, and personal friends between all of us and the association. There's still a fair bit of guys out there that need support, and we're here to support that.
But it was a different story last year. Remembrance was affected by COVID rules, with many events cancelled. Those leading today's service in Leicester believe this moment has extra significance.
I think we all were struggling to rebuild our lives and find some sort of normality. And I think just this moment to be together, it's just been so good.
For old and young, this is an occasion that matters. A moment to come together and honour heroes who made the ultimate sacrifice. Amy Payne, BBC East Midlands Today.
Meanwhile, soldiers from Kendrew Barracks in Rutland, they held an act of remembrance on operations in West Africa. The Royal Anglians are in Mali on what's been described as the world's most dangerous peacekeeping mission. Our social affairs correspondent Jeremy Ball reports.
Silence under the Saharan sun, thousands of miles from their base in Rutland. Time to reflect for the Royal Anglian's 2nd Battalion. Some here are still teenagers, still too young to have served in recent combat missions.
A lot of people, especially my age, don't really understand or take note of it, but to me, it's a huge deal. It's remembering and honouring those that have fallen or given their lives so that we can live in freedom that we have today.
You're in a battalion that has lost people in wars. Does that make it feel very personal to you?
Yeah, 100%, being part of a battalion that have had people fall and die for the country is a huge deal, and I think that it's something that shouldn't be up past.
And now they're deployed to a very different conflict zone here in Mali as United Nations peacekeepers. The 2nd Battalion's protecting isolated communities from the so-called Islamic State. This is how they trained to respond to a terrorist attack. Training they put into practice in August after IS gunmen killed around 50 people in an attack on several villages.
You've got 18, 19, 20-year-old private soldiers who are trying to understand what has happened, having the local population telling them that, they're now sleeping safely at night because of their very presence on the ground, consoling members of a family whose son got massacred by ISIS terrorists. And that requires a lot from a 19-year-old who a year or so previously might have, just been in school.
And today, teenage soldiers who gave their lives were among those being remembered. Soldiers who never grew old. Soldiers whose sacrifice won't be forgotten. Jeremy Ball, BBC East Midlands Today.